Atas, number 16.
Oh,
Yes, we in here.
Oh, yes.
Atas, number 16, across time and space, coming to you in the midst of life, in the midst of struggle, in the midst of what's happening in Russia and Ukraine. We here.
Yeah. We're in the trenches. We're in the trenches. It's your boy, TPC Japan, back with episode 16 of Atas, across time and space. And like my co-host said, we're in here in the trenches with y'all. Okay, we're in the trenches. That's a shout out to the Instagram. The last one that went up on the gram. All right. It's all about the trenches because, yeah, I know what's going on over there in Ukraine, and we want peace at those times. Okay. We saw this coming. We saw it coming just like the flood.
Oh, come on, somebody.
Yeah.
Somebody.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what we're on today, right? Sapiens chapter 4. It's the flood. So I just want to make sure, that I lay down those tracks before we get in there. Oh yeah. But how have you been? How have you been, people? Audience.
It's been a little struggle. I'm not going front, I try to lay it all, at the feet of Jesus and, come in here just fresh, vibrant, full of energy. But
yeah,
things be happening. Like what you see in front of you right now is not who I am 100% of the time. And I think that's easy to think that, when you see like YouTube personalities or you hear podcasts or, you see video podcasts, it's like, oh, this person is always upbeat and cheery. They're never going through what I'm going through. But no, let y'all know some stuff be going down, especially with family. Like I just visited, I visited my family in Connecticut, and it was
to be there.
Good.
That's a blessing.
Yeah, it was good. But at the same time, I was over there and got some bad news. That's why I wasn't available for 2 weeks. And it took a long time to get back, but now we're back.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah. It's been an interesting 2 weeks. I'll tell you that. Some new experiences, but we're getting towards spring finally. It's been a long, cold, painful winter, and we're heading towards spring. We have a few. The sun is getting closer. It's getting a little bit easier to wake up in the morning. It's getting a little harder to go to sleep at night.
Oh man,
for various reasons. For various reasons, but we out here, and
okay.
We're with you in the struggle. We're going through the struggle too, but we want to let our voices be delivered to your eardrums, and wherever you are in your walk. We want you to know that we're with you. All right, Atas, across time and space, no matter what. Okay. For our new listeners, just to let you know, this podcast is about a variety of issues. Ace has his channel, and we're on his channel today. I'm a guest on his channel, which is all about how the cross intersects with culture. My channel is TPC Japan, the People's Champ. You guys have seen maybe the new icon up there. With its symbolism, yeah. I mean, I don't know if I get the chance to talk about that. It's like,
because I did ask you when you came up with it and you showed it to me and you had the motion logo. I was like, walk me through the symbolism, and I didn't get anything. So I'm kind of on bated breath. I want to hear it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was for the people. Like, it was for you too. That's for you too, but it's for the people. Because they're going to ask the same question, and I wanted to be able to explain it. I should have said it to you first, though, because, it would make more sense. I mean, by the time I explain it to the rest of the world. The symbol in, for TPC Japan, first of all, TPC stands for the People's Champ. If you smell, what the Rock is cooking. Yeah. No, it's not that he's my favorite, pro wrestler or anything, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. No. But yeah, champion was my grandmother's last name, and that's part of like my family history. I do claim some of that. Champ is not my nickname or anything like that, but when I see the people's champ, I think of the champion of the people, like who is with the people, who's with with them in the struggle, what they're about, who stands for their cause. I'm not here to be a king or anything like that, but yeah, I want to represent the people. All right. And that is the people's champion, TPC. But then Japan. So the people's champ in Japan. What's going on with people of Japan? How can I explain their position to the rest of the world? How can I explain my community to Japan? How can I intersect in there? That's TPC. And the other side of that double entente is Tipsy Japan.
Tipsy Japan. Okay.
Yeah, Tipsy.
That's
Japan.
like TPC after dark.
Yeah. Well, that was actually before dawn. That was my original DJ name when I came up with the international show at my university.
Okay.
This is about 20 years ago. But I was DJ Tipsy Japan, and I had long hair at the time. I was a little bit more gregarious when it comes to my social circles, and so I was out there, and I really liked one of my favorite kung fu films at the time, which has nothing to do with Japan, but it is proliferation of Asian culture, was Drunken Master, right? So just like in that flow right there. And like the fighter in Tekken that had that same, I think his name was Li Fang or something. He had that same, Drunken Master style. So I like that fact that drink a little bit and then, he just be in his flow. All right. So yeah, my name was Tipsy Japan back then, and it became TPC Japan because I want to rise above that, but also I have respect for my roots. Actually, I know where I'm coming from. So yeah. What am I drinking right now? Is this?
What is that? Is that the hangover cure?
Nah. They do have that here. They do have that.
I know.
This is like ginseng aged for 6 years. It's called katsujin.
6 years.
Yeah, katsujin. And you can see the shape of the ginseng.
Are you sure that's not alcoholic?
Oh no. But this does make me feel so much better. Like I had the sniffles, and I can't afford to get a fever, so yeah, this works. I take some of this, a little Chinese medicine. This is another one called kakonto. It's another root. Kakonto. Yeah. It's the root of kuzu, which is the name of a root out here. So yeah, I get some of that in me. That's supposed to work on like your headache or muscle aches or anything like that when you're at the beginning of catching a cold. And gingyozan. All right, this is like a commercial. Oh my goodness.
Yo, like dang.
Gingyozan. Yeah, gingyozan, kakonto, and katsujin. Yeah. This is why I'm the people's champ. All right, TPC. I get it in. But yeah, I have not caught a cold. I haven't had a fever since my booster shot, of this, my vax. So yeah, I'm not, I can't afford to have fevers. I get it in. And yeah, I mean, I got to talk to people face to face every day. And it's got to be, my voice has to be perfectly clear.
So calm down.
I do what I got to do. Hopefully today I'm clearer than usual. I'm using a different camera. My normal webcam is, down here somewhere. So I'm a little bit higher than normal. If I tend to look down, it's not that I'm looking down on you people. I'm looking, I'm looking at my camera. So yeah, I got the screen right below, and yeah, I'm working it out. So
yeah, I mean, we got you, loud and clear. We got you clearly.
Good.
But one thing that stuck out to me, you said that you're taking, you said katsujin. Okay, so is that like victory time, like the hour of victory?
Katsujin. Right. So that's katsuji. That would be katsuji.
Okay.
Yeah, katsu means to win. It also means cutlet. All right.
Yeah.
Cutlet. So there's so many different sounds that are similar in Japanese. I mean, I get where that's coming from. Katsu, winning, the winning person. Katsujin, the champ, the people's champ. Brought it back.
People's champ, the winning person. Yeah. So it's not like like you were explaining champion. It's I like the differentiation that you made. Like it's not the king, it's a person that fights for the people.
Right.
So they're like, if you had to equate it, like the white king, the political power, the white king and the black king, the one who's down in the trenches, getting down and dirty, for the good of the kingdom. So it's like Batman, The Dark Knight. It's like at the end of one of the movies, he's like, I'm not the. It's like I'm the hero that the people deserve. So send the dogs
not
out.
The one that they want.
Like, yeah.
Not the hero they want, but the hero they deserve. Going for that. Yeah.
All right. So we got a few comments on the board already. I want to throw the shout out. So we out here. Yeah, we back. 100 emoji. Yeah, we in there.
Yeah,
little cuzzo. Yeah. So just keep in mind, those who are listening, I did do a little work. I haven't done anything retroactively.
Hold on. Don't put yourself. Hold on. Let me interrupt you.
But why though?
I have to interrupt so that I can introduce the work that you've done, and then you tell us more about the work you've done.
Oh no!
All right, you don't got to tell folks what you've done, because I noticed what you did. All right, like you got all those episodes up. You got all those episodes up that we were back up. All right, and it's just flowing out now. It's flowing out. We're ready to go on to the next one. That's what I'm talking about. You made that happen, and I appreciate that. And I know the audience does too. They're like, I want to listen to that again, but I can't watch the whole show, or I ain't got the data for that. Atas, can you do anything for us? Ace, help us.
Chill out.
And there it is. We on that Spotify up to episode 15. Bam, 16 is ready to go right now. Thank you for that.
Yep.
All right. I acknowledge you for that. That's awesome. I'm looking at you. All right. And then
so
go
I'm
ahead.
I'm going to try to be on every episode. When it comes out, I'm going to try to download it and do what I got to do to it and have it out by the next week at the latest, because I've been getting backed up. But what I've done for those who are primarily listening, because I got my hair all crazy.
You got it.
All right. So for those that are primarily listening, there are links.
Listening only.
Yeah, like primarily listening, So starting from episode, I think 12 onward, I've started including links to both of our channels. So the odd number episodes are going to be on TPC Japan. The even number episodes are going to be right here on Cross Culture. So you will have to do a little flip-flopping back and forth if you want to be part of the journey across time and space when it happens. So your comments will go up. We'll see those if you comment on the live video. Do not comment in the comment section if you're trying to be part of the live video, because we will not see them until after the live video. So we will put up any comments that are deemed, appropriate and part of the conversation, as long as it does not have a government name. Now you see that we just flashed a government name. We do have prior consent to flash that name, so that's what we're working off of. All right, I think we got all the boring stuff out the way.
That was boring.
It's informational, but we got to get to the discussion. The meat and potatoes.
Let's get into the meat and potatoes. The grits.
All right. So, chapter 4 of Sapiens, entitled The Flood. See, I really don't like this dude because he be entitling stuff after biblical stuff, and he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing.
His parents knew too. That's why they call him Noah.
I mean, Noah talking about the flood. I mean, it only fits. But I wanted to bring up this question because I have studied a little bit in it, but I don't know if you have. So I wanted to bring this up. Flood accounts. Now I'm talking about the flood. I'm not talking about Halo, the little thing. No, none of that. But the flood, the biblical flood. All right. So you know about the flood in the Bible, right?
Know about the flood in the Bible.
Yeah. Right.
Just a quick recap, for maybe some of my students that could be listening.
Yeah, go ahead.
The flood in the Bible basically was precipitated by wickedness. As wickedness, people were being nasty across the world, and the Lord just said, "You know what? Where the story goes, the Lord just said, you know what? It's going to clean this thing out." You only had one righteous man, and his family, and he said, basically that I'm going to flood the earth, so prepare an ark, okay, and we're going to put all the two pairs, one pair or two pair.
Okay, all right. So I can give a little clarification to that. You want me to jump in?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's one pair. All right. He's gonna clarify how many pairs of animals were on the ark, but there were pairs of animals on the ark to proliferate after they got back to dry land. Okay, and after X number of years, which he's also going to explain, the flood came, and Noah's family got on the ark, and then the Lord just made it rain on them. 40 days, 40 days and 40 nights.
Yep.
Okay, 40 days and 40 nights, and after that, the ark continued to float on the water until there was I think he sent out a dove or sent out a bird to see if it could land somewhere, and the bird, I don't think it came back. The first one didn't come back. It took a while for it to come back.
I'm
gonna let you clarify.
I think. I mean, I'm going off memory too. I don't want to. Not. I don't want to say I don't want to depend on the Bible, but I want to make sure that I know it. I mean, I got mine right here too.
Yeah. Right. So I'm gonna give him a layman's version. I'll give him the people's version, and then we'll go ahead and clarify as necessary. But essentially, as he's floating on the water, sends out a bird. It didn't come back happy. It just came back maybe tired. He sent out another bird or the same bird later, and this one came back with an olive branch. So said, okay, a tree must be out there. Things are going to be okay. All right. And that was the flood of biblical times. Okay. So what do I know about other floods? I know that other civilizations have different flood accounts, but I don't know exactly which civilizations do. I know that you have that look on your face like you do. And I've learned to trust it.
It's not that I want to say like, oh, I know it. But I mean, I've come in contact with a few of them.
Yes.
And it wasn't always in my religion classes. So we're going through the Iliad,
okay,
and the Odyssey. And there's mention of a man that could give immortality, that has found the secret of immortality, right?
Okay.
And it turns out that this man is Noah. And he's talked about as the person who has immortality because he survived the flood.
Hold on. In the Iliad?
Yeah.
In the Iliad.
Pretty sure it's the Iliad.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not people try to say that the Bible is just some fantasy thing that nothing in it has any bearing, historically.
Yeah.
But there are certain things in the Bible that tie it to a timeline. So if, people are saying, oh, there's no way that the whole earth could have been, flooded by water and destroyed. But other cultures have the same, accounts. And these are cultures, mind you, that are not Christian in nature. So there's a big Babylonian account. And then in the Iliad, which are both cultures that had pantheons, so many gods. So these are not Christian accounts by any means. So I know that a lot of scientists, will say, oh, I believe in science because it's cold, hard fact. And, there's no religion mucking it up. So what do you say to things like that, where religion wasn't the thing it wasn't the same religion. 3 different religions, 3 different peoples are reporting this type of event, a cataclysmic worldwide event.
Right. And to talk about, cataclysmic events, in the ancient world, with these largely agricultural societies, I mean, one of the worst case scenarios was a flood, fire is one, and the flood is the other. If you have an eruption, some kind of volcanic eruption,
that's like the worst of both worlds.
all right, Pompeii, I'm sorry. Yeah. Japan was absolutely terrified of fires, because most of their buildings are made of wood. They right on top of each other. Can't do that. Can't do fire.
And that's why all of the major railroads were built by water. Yeah, yes. It's scenic, but it was just in case.
Yeah, because you can't play with fire. But then, the worst thing that could come from the heavens is just unending water, a flood that would wash crops away, wash farm animals away, drowning. If you look into the sky or look into the heavens for anything, to have your back, like we need the water, but we don't need a flood. That no one needs a flood. So the place of religion in different societies is to explain why. Part of its role is to explain why things are the way that they are, and how we should live in regards to that. Science doesn't do it. It just, it's facts, or you're trying to piece together facts to make a coherent story. Now, why is the story the way it is? Science does not have an answer for that. What you're supposed to do about it, given that information, science doesn't have an answer for that either. That's not the sciences. But the sciences will tell you what evidence we have, because that's what you use with science. Try to piece together the evidence, use math, use chemistry, use physics, and all of the rules in place to try to explain what is going on, right? And to make it like a theory or something of which will help you to learn more later. But religion will explain why things are the way that they are and what to do about it. Now, the situation with the flood, if I can just preach just a little, but God was trying to cleanse the earth, right? The story is that God is trying to cleanse it. People are getting too far, into their corruption and their hedonistic living, and it's not one man that's righteous among them. I just got to clean the plate. And he did it with water after the flood, or with the flood. He did it with fire and brimstone for Sodom and Gomorrah. So it was one or the other. But yeah, we went with the flood, and that's the story behind it. So what my question is, what is this Noah trying to say about the flood?
So I got to jump back just because I don't want to leave any questions unanswered. So just to touch on the animals that were in the ark.
Yes, give him a little pet.
So a lot of, children's accounts were like, oh, yes, Noah gathered the animals 2 by 2. Not the biblical count. So
2 by 2. Oh.
2 by 2 were for all the unclean animals, the animals that were not supposed to be eaten. Oh. So by biblical accounts, that is any animal that doesn't have a cloven hoof and multiple stomachs. So pigs were definitely 2 by 2, but cows were most likely in a group of 7. Sheep were in a group of 7. Because remember, this is 40 days and 40 nights.
Yeah.
Right? Noah got to eat. Noah had a whole family. He had to eat. You got 7 chickens, maybe 1 rooster and 6 hens. Got some eggs there, you got some chicken. You don't want to kill one. You got a whole cow. You could kill a few cows and still be good.
Hold on. So the unclean animals were 2 by 2.
Because you shouldn't have been eating them to begin with. So they're gonna survive as long as you take care of them. And then you have to think of things like lions that still need to eat. So you killing cows for everybody at this point.
Telling you, it was wild on that arc.
Yeah. They say kill the fatted calf. They serious.
Yeah.
All right. One quick shout out. I'm gonna make a segue right after this. But we got another listener in. Water Pulse Laser saying glad to catch the show live. We're glad to have you. Water Pulse Laser is over there on the East Coast, so it's like 11 right now, and they're tuning in. Putting their comments up on the stream here. So that everybody can see that we're not here by ourselves. They get a little recognition. Why not?
Yeah.
But one of the most complex animals. If you had to guess, what's one of the most complex animals?
Complex. On land or in the sea?
Let's just do on land. Besides humans.
One of the most complex animals besides humans on land.
Yeah, because if you want to count us, we're definitely the most. But
I guess something relatively close to us, like primates.
No.
Pets. Is it a pet animal? I'm guessing, man. I'm on here.
Just guess an animal. You over here asking, is it a pet? This is not 21 questions.
What, hummingbird?
A hummingbird?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's a good guess. They got to be engineered some type of way, but no.
Yeah. All right. What does it look like?
What does it look like? It's quadrupedal.
What besides humans is not quadrupedal?
Is quadrupedal?
Yeah.
We don't have 4 legs, my guy.
We don't. We're standing up tall, but all the other animals, I can't think of any that are just walking around just like on 2 legs.
I mean, you said primates already, so I mean,
yeah,
that kind of covers that. It's not any of those.
Not any of those. So what other animal is what? 4 legs? Not 4 legs? Does it have hair? All animals have hair. Is it a mammal?
Not all animals have hair. There's reptiles, they have no hair.
Is it a mammal?
Yes, it's a mammal.
It's a mammal.
And it's not a platypus. I'm gonna throw that out right now. It's not a platypus.
It doesn't have a bill. Is it bigger than us or smaller than us?
It depends on your stage in life. But it would be smaller than you.
Nothing's smaller, or nothing's bigger than me. That's why.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it would be smaller than you. It might be. I've seen some that are bigger than my daughter.
Oh. Something on 4 legs?
Yeah.
Does it have a long tail? Or short
Does it
tail?
have a long tail? Sometimes.
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 So the tail can shrink or
Not
extend.
shrink.
I'll go for it. Go for it, man.
Yeah, you're gonna kick yourself when you hear it.
I'm
You're already
ready.
kicking yourself.
I've already done kicking myself, asking, like, is it this? Is it that? It wasn't. So,
All right.
yeah.
So,
A dog.
dogs.
I said it first.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Listen after. You can listen after.
We're gonna have to.
First.
Remember, I'm the one leading the stream. So I said it and then I heard it.
Oh, okay. But the audience knows.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
watch.
Audience knows. All right. Check. So anybody that's down in watching live right now, tell me who said it first. Please. Like dead serious. Dead serious. Say who said it first. If it was Ace or TPC Japan.
Yeah,
just throw it in the comment right now on the live comments, because we want to see it. We want to see it. Okay? Not the comment section, but on the actual live video. But the reason why dogs are so complex is because there's so many breeds. You know, there's so many breeds. Oh, and then just to throw that out there.
You can't even finish his thought, man. Man.
So there's so many breeds, and one of the things about dogs is that they were bred in captivity fairly early. So here's another one. Throw that there real quick.
Now I'm looking for people to. Oh, that's my wife too. That's my wife. I couldn't believe my wife.
But there's so many breeds of dogs, and they were bred for specific reasons. So you have not only dogs that were wild, but dogs that were kept and raised. So you have dogs that turned into like wild dogs and wolves, and they had to adapt to their circumstances. And then you have dogs that were bred to fight lions. You have dogs that were bred to race. You had dogs that were bred to hunt. All of this stuff. And one of the things that helped us to do was to spread out. The Bible talks about floods. It uses that term metaphorically also to mean people. So this, it was working with me. This chapter is talking about the flood, but I feel like it's leaning more towards that metaphorical sense, because he's talking about people spreading out and how we came to be where we are, how we populated different places, and how with or without the presence of humans, that the plants and animals were shaped in those their ecological regions, or geographical regions ecologically.
Right. Well, in that chapter, he does mention, like, the spread of humanity and how we just kind of exploded, but it was more, due to what was it, farmland? He said we went from hunting to more, I guess, hunting and gathering to farm production. And because we're using farms, because we have domesticated animals. I mean, if that animal isn't domesticated enough to get on the ark and be trained not to eat other animals, or eat my family, if it can't be domesticated, you can just stay out there in the rain. All right, I'm not concerned. So any animal that made it onto the ark must have, had some sense. And it's like, you know what, we're gonna follow what these humans say, man. Yeah, even the lions. I mean, I've seen lions that have been, trained, or have a good relationship with certain humans. So I mean, animals can learn. Like, this is my master. I am going to be obedient and not eat him. Yeah, and Noah must have
Not
been,
eat the hand that feeds you. Yeah.
exactly. He must have been quite a ringmaster, to handle all that smoke. But yeah, so I can understand that. And then afterwards, you have the second wave, this boom of humanity, where farmland made it possible for us to survive. We didn't have to just eat all the animals. We can use grain or use the animals to plow the fields, and we started a new relationship with animals that we didn't see so much of that, I guess, in pre-flood days. I mean, yes, granted, there's a biblical account of Abel and how he had animals, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had some animals, but to say he had a farm, it wasn't quite on that level, right? He might have been just like herding, something like that.
Well, I mean, Cain
And that's what I
was
meant. That's what I meant. Cain.
Cain was the planter. Like he
Cain was the
was
planter.
was the
Oh,
planter, fruits and
uh,
vegetables. Yeah.
Cain was the planter, and then Abel was the
Livestock.
he was the cowboy.
The cowboy. Literally
Yeah,
the cowboy.
yeah.
Yeah. So I mean it does come to that
Mm-hmm.
where if you I don't know, I've been playing some survival games, so it's like
Mm-hmm.
you run around and then you find shelter, and then you find something that can be used for food. It's like, okay, well,
Mm-hmm.
this isn't good enough, so let me plant this, and you find seeds and you make it
Mm-hmm.
into something else that's a little more filling. And
Mm-hmm.
it's great to play these games, but in all actuality, you're just reliving different parts of history, because
Mm-hmm.
somebody had to learn how to do it. Even if
Mm-hmm.
you're going by the biblical account, you
Yeah.
know, Adam and Eve got kicked out of the garden, and one of the curses is that they would work the land and it would not yield.
You would have
Like
to
it
work the
would not
land.
yield. So you got
Mm-hmm.
to learn, okay, well, if I don't have, you know, God's blessing in that department, but he
Mm-hmm.
still gave me my two hands, he gave me what knowledge I still have.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe starting to look at irrigation, maybe starting to look, okay, well, these plants need more water, plant them by
Mm-hmm.
the water, so I don't have to walk so
Right.
far, you know?
And that's the beginning of using the earth and its resources, um, for the expansion of mankind.
Mm-hmm.
That toil right now is taking its toll on. Let's see what I did there. It's taking its toll on the earth,
Mm.
and I want to touch on the green initiative. All right, I want to touch on the green initiative and what that means, because using the earth responsibly is a lovely um, facade, according to some. A facade.
Facade?
Yes, yes.
Oh,
Let me just deliver
no.
this. Let me deliver it to you, and then
Hit
you
it.
tell me what's going on, because this is extremely pertinent. We look at what's going on with Russia, Ukraine, the U.S., and this initiative. Like on the U.S. side, you got this huge initiative to turn things green. Stop
Mm-hmm.
using the oil that's in the ground, or stop using the natural resources on the ground. You're not going to toil on the ground. You're going to use these American solar panels. All right, we're going to use all right, use these windmills that are made over here on our side. You're going to use these resources rather than working your own ground and your own land.
Mm.
All right, because that's what we did to come into power and to keep our power, and to crush all these different countries in the 20th century. But then now, when you got everybody else coming up, now you want to say, oh, no, we got to be clean. We got to you know you can't do what we did. You got to use the technology that we made to stay ahead. And if you need help with that, we're gonna provide you with all kinds of loans that'll make it easy for you. All right, but you got to follow us. Don't do what we did. Monkey see, monkey do. No, don't do that. Just pay us, and we'll make sure. We'll make sure that you have our cutting edge technology. Is one of the narratives. That is one of the narratives that's going down right now. And Russia is like, no, this was our land historically, and we broke up because of bad blood or whatever. But we're gonna take back this spot right here, and we're gonna get access to the water, and get out of this Siberia, out of the tundra, right? So that we can extend our influence. America, man, you coming up so fast. You coming up real fast. In the last couple 100 years. All right. Whereas the Russian Empire, the Chinese Empire, we've been around here a couple 1,000 years, man. You can't just be over here telling us what to do. If you got to do it like y'all. No,
young buck. What you know?
Young buck. You can't be just coming up here like that. Man, you can't tell us what to do. NATO, man, you better calm down. That's what Russia's saying. And yeah, I want to hear what you got to say about the green initiative. Is it all green and good as they say it is, or is there another agenda?
Yeah. So,
and I did political, but I'm just saying.
I did put this
disaster
in there.
Yes.
Ecological disasters.
Yeah.
Because the chapter does talk about things that went missing or were directly influenced for better or for worse by humans being there. So it's like there's a, oh my goodness, I wish I could remember the name of the book now. There's a book, I think it's called Project 1619. It's about the slave trade and how it got started and all of that. But there's a companion book that's made for children. And in that children's book, we're reading it, or well, my wife mainly is reading it to my daughter because she's reading that book. And it talks about how these African slaves, who were taken out of their home, braided seeds into their hair so that they could take a piece of their home with them. So that seems all well and good, oh well, they ain't got sweet potatoes in Japan, let me take a few and I can plant some and then I can harvest them and I have sweet potatoes in Japan. That's basically what it is.
Yeah.
But the ecological ramifications of that, I don't know if the world was worse or better off because these people, took and braided in and then scattered the seeds. But that's what the book is talking about. It's talking about how over hunting and over gathering might have wiped things out. It's because when humans got to a place where they could actually feast, they did, because they didn't know how long the fast was going to be. So it's like, oh, there's a grove of banana trees here. Oh, I'm loading up.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I'm going to 2 days down the line if I'm even going to have food.
That survival instinct. You see it and just like, all right,
survival mode.
You get all of that. You get all of that.
All of that.
The book that you were referring to is it's called the 1619 Project. Okay.
The 1619
so for our listeners,
project. Okay.
Yeah, that's the 1619 Project. Just a quick look at that. The founder said the transatlantic slave trade, just like the systematic elimination of the Native American Indian in the United States and the Holocaust in Germany, are human tragedies that changed the world. Okay, and you can go into more detail on that at project1619.org. All right. But
Shoot
yeah,
with the plug.
there's oh yeah, you see me. You see me. I just want to make sure that the audience, can access these resources afterwards. Add to the conversation, but you got to do your homework first, all right?
Too true.
Got to do your homework. Yeah. So yeah, the ecological impact of moving seed from here to there, the impact that we have on the environment. At the end of the day, we really should be more responsible with our resources if we're gonna, be in this thing for the long run.
Too true.
And we sure have not done that up to this point. America is the biggest, culprit, though.
We use a third of the world's resources, and we have like less than half of the world's population. Way less than half. It was like 20%, maybe.
I mean, talk about bottom feeders. I know you don't indulge in any of this, but we eat 2/3 of the production of shrimp in the world.
In the world,
2/3 in the world.
That's crazy.
I mean, we ain't even got 10. Do we have 10% of the population?
I don't know. It's a really bad percentage for us to be having 2/3 of the world's resources, because there's so many people in China that they have like a good, I want to say like a good 15% of the world's population just in China. Just in China.
Yeah, about 2 billion, right? And there's only 7 billion of us. So you almost had a third. You got a third there, and then India, that's another 1.5, almost 2 bill, right?
Okay.
So
yeah,
that's another third or so. And we ain't even at half the population of neither one of those. We're at about a fourth of those, right? So 1/7, 1/8, but somehow we eat 2/3 of all the shrimp.
You say we, but you're in Japan.
I'm an American eating shrimp here too.
Yeah, I mean, you're an American eating shrimp in Japan, so I mean, you probably like balance it out a little
bit. Yeah. I mean, they get down over here too. I ain't
guys in there shrimp. Every time you can. Ebi, onegaishimasu.
Ebi, please. Ebi. Yeah, it ebbs and flows, my need for Ebi.
But yeah, just jumping back to what you were saying, like green initiatives, the farming of meat, whether it be in the water or on the land, takes a heavy toll on the earth. It takes a very heavy toll, and a lot of the meat goes bad on the shelves, especially in America, because there's like they want to project that there's wealth here, and everybody just has these big bunkers full of all different types of meat, whether it be fresh or processed or frozen, and they wanted to generate that type of opulence. But so much of it is going bad, and it's taking a lot of water, it's taking a lot of feed to sustain. But if everybody were to become vegetarian, or more people would become vegetarian or vegan even, it would bring those numbers down, and it would replenish some of the nutrients lost by all of this continuing farming, because soy puts nutrients into the soil. Peanuts put nutrients into the soil. So there are ways to farm that are way more sustainable, but because we live in such a fast-paced culture, we want it now, we want it instant. Come on, what's going on? Why is it taking so long?
Yeah.
So to use chemical fertilizers, so that we can get it farmed to table in like a week. Talking about growing
those chickens. Those chickens, bro, like 99% of them, they never walk on the ground. They're walking on chickens' backs or lying down, being walked on for their whole lives, bro. That's crazy. It's like that right there. The amount of death that goes into just our industrial, agricultural complex. It's nasty. It's a sin, to be honest. To be honest, I mean, we're supposed to be good shepherds of the earth, man. But jeez, it's insane the way that we treat these animals. And you know what? Like later on in one of these chapters, the author is going to get into that. It's just like the way that, man, it's wild. It's wild. The way that we just manipulate nature. But on the other side of it, none of us are out there living in the forest and really doing the true sustainable thing like that. Like we're connected right now using all kinds of technology,
all kinds of plastic and wires and the Wi-Fi router alone is made with how much rare earth metal. Like these are things that people don't think about. But
I'll tell you who thinks about it. China thinks about it. You ain't gonna just be over here telling us what to do, man. We got what was it, coltan, or all these different rare earth metals that go into our technology. You can't. I mean, and I'm speaking as China, U.S. You can't be over here telling us what to do, man. And we are in all your smartphones. All right, our technology is in there, and unless you find another area on the earth to mine that whole thing out, like we doing over here in Africa, then you out of luck, bro. You're gonna have to follow. You're gonna have to step in line. All right, and the U.S. is by and large, man, I ain't beating China. You might as well work with them, because in the States, like you can see where the Chinese machine has produced very educated people that will come over, do the job, or be the scientist for the right price or for a lower price, and really make a huge contribution. But then a lot of those resources go right back to China. And the US, the whole bailout and all these different bailouts that have happened during the pandemic, to help the American people, like here's some money, y'all. Run with that. Here's a couple $100, y'all. Run with that. Where'd that money come from? China. Talking all that trash about the pandemic or whatever. Like, oh, this is a China virus. Blah blah blah. No. Hold on. Like they buying the government bonds, and we spending the government bonds to put money in everybody's hands, and going to be taxed later to pay back that same country that you talking all that trash about. Nah, bro. You ain't playing the game right. Or if you are, maybe you're just playing politics right now and you're not thinking the long game. These guys, man, they'll put a person in place and they'll be there for 20, 30 years. All right. And then they'll put the next person in place because they look in 100 years, bro. All right. Ecological disaster, man. It'll be an ecological disaster if some of these other parties aren't thinking sustainable, because they're going to come into power. And not like what it looks like on the other side.
I'm telling you, if China were to call back, if they would just say, you know what, we sick of this. We want our money now, America. That's it.
Pay up.
That's it. You're on my property.
Yeah.
Pay up.
Yes,
right now.
Yes.
Like it would be it. Property. That's a wrap. We would not have enough money to pay back that debt if they just called it all in one time.
Call it at once. Nah.
That'd be it.
Can't do that.
That'd be it. Trillions upon trillions of dollars. Just like, we want that. We want all of that. We want to get our crypto going as a government power. So we're gonna need all of that.
And the thing is, they doing it like they're already on that crypto. They're already on the next wave, the next phase. They're in the metaverse. They on that G5, G6. Are they developing G7 now? Like you can't just block out China. Yeah, right. Right. Come on, bro.
People use it for cheap labor for how many years? And check this. I don't know if you remember, but when do we go to Jamaica?
2000. 2000. Whoa, hold on. Jamaica. This is 2003.
3.
Because before I went to
yeah, it had to be 3. Jeez.
Yeah. That summer before.
So, 2003 in Jamaica. I don't know if you remembered, but we went on like a couple tours, stuff like that, and we passed by like this huge dirt road, and the guide said, "Oh, this is Highway 2000." Right? This is Highway 2000. Mind you, it was 2003.
Highway 2000
when we were there. So Highway 2000 was built, or well, it was like etched out. Government monies were given and all of that stuff.
You're not frozen.
Okay, sorry about that.
We're taking a deep breath. That was a real deep breath.
Highway 2000, right?
Yeah.
It was not finished in 2000. It wasn't finished in 2003. It wasn't finished in 2007, 6 or 7 when I was down there. But you know what? China reached out and offered to do the labor to finish Highway 2000. And you know what they required? Oh, all of the tolls that are collected in that first couple years, we want those.
Oh, just the first couple years, not
just the first couple years.
I want immunity.
I want immunity. I want to land.
I want to land on that property without having to pay.
Oh gosh!
I mean, if I was playing with as China, I would play it like that. Just to give them some background, Highway 2000 is a highway in Jamaica connecting Kingston with Montego Bay, where we went on vacation, Ocho Rios, and passing through the parishes of St. Catherine, St. Anne, Clarendon, and proposed sections through St. James, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, and Hanover. Yeah. I say Westmoreland.
So Chalani isn't on there?
Chalani was not part of that original post.
Because we stayed in Trelawney when we went down. Yeah, we flew into Montego Bay, but we stayed in Trelawney. That was FDR Pebbles. Shout out FDR Pebbles.
Yeah.
That was some good stuff. It
was.
That's where the resort is. So I mean, I guess we must have come back across the line to Montego Bay before we saw the highway again. But
see, the thing is, China is out there in Jamaica. I mean, you're probably hearing this in more and more places online anyway, but I just got to let you know, at that time, there were 20% of the Jamaican population was Chinese. 20% at that time. That's Jamaica. All right. The most powerful Caribbean country, in terms of influence.
Maybe. Yeah. Well, definitely in terms of influence. I mean, I know I have a friend that I grew up with in church, and she's of Jamaican descent. She's a doctor now, shout outs to her. But she has Chinese in her lineage from Jamaica.
Yeah.
Like
from Jamaica. Wow.
From Jamaica. Like, it's not just like, oh, they came across here and then, no, from Jamaica.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Jamaica was occupied by the Spanish, it was occupied by Chinese, and it was occupied by Germans. There's
but the Chinese
big things that you don't hear about Jamaica. Yeah.
Made it into her family line, her lineage. Well, truth be told, our grandmother suffered a bone disease. You heard that? You heard about that?
No.
The bone disease is it's only found. It has only been found in populations in China.
In China.
Oh, yeah, we have Chinese in our lineage too.
I did the ancestry DNA. It didn't come up.
Grandma's grandfather or great grandfather, one of the two. Yeah. Look no further.
That's crazy.
It's not your friend. It's you. Yo, look it up, or ask somebody who's still around.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
You don't
Because I
have
know
to.
that she had quite a bit of Native American in her.
Right, right.
I know
That's where
that. I think she said
that's
like
where she got her
her grandmother,
great
I think
grandmother,
great
Cora.
grandmother,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
It's
had
Cora Davis.
was
Yeah,
full.
Blackfoot and Cherokee. That's where she got her
Crazy.
name. That's where I got my name. Yeah. So
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's got to be in the name. Yeah, Cora. Her name was Cora Davis. So Cora, Corrine.
I think. Well, all right. So my wife got on the ancestry kick, and she was
Mm,
digging through my
mm.
lineage, and I was like,
Your own
here and there.
lineage. She was digging through yours
Yeah, she was digging through my lineage.
in your
So
closet.
when you said Cora Davis, like, oh yeah, I know that name,
Mm,
because she brought it up. So she
mm,
has like on her phone, she has like family tree, like all of
mm,
our aunts and uncles. Then
mm.
before that, like marriages that have happened. And I was like, this is
Wow.
a lot. Yeah, but
Wow.
she just got into it one day, and
Mm,
for like a good, I want to say for like at least a good 6 months, she was just like
wow.
spare time, just in
Yeah.
there. And then we did the ancestry DNA. I
Mm.
got her that as a gift for like her birthday, I think. So,
Okay.
we got our
Her birthday
results.
coming
Turns
up.
out that
That's
I'm
good.
like
Yeah.
one
Mm.
and a half percent white.
1.5.
Like I'm 1% Swedish and I'm less than 1% Irish. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, it's very strange stuff. Very strange stuff. But
Wow.
yeah, a
Wow.
lot of African descent, of course.
Yeah.
A lot of Bantu, a lot of
Hmm.
Jamaican descent there. I mean, that's
Hmm.
no surprise.
See, yeah. Now, see, the thing is, right? When you think about Africa, because
Mm,
some, there are Pan Africans in America, and on the other side of the pond. But going to Africa and building something there or
mm,
supporting something there, um, trying to basically do what the Chinese are doing, but on a more
mm.
grassroots level. Um, have you thought about that? Because other countries are going to come and just take advantage. They have no interest in, oh, this is just a humanity thing. Come on now.
I
We're going to
don't
come in
know.
here. We'll give you some jobs or whatever, but we want your resources. And we'll
Mm,
give you the money up front. We want your land. What you want to do. Whereas if it's our own people going down there to do something, um, maybe they'll feel less taken advantage of, but we wouldn't have as much to offer either. Like you can't give you the resources of the second largest economy in the world. That's not gonna work.
mm. I mean, I've thought about, so the house that my father grew up in, it
Mm,
was a pretty small, little, tiny thing, right?
mm.
But my uncle still lives down there.
Down in
And when I
Jamaica.
went to visit in 2003
Yeah, to Jamaica.
to Jamaica, yeah,
Okay. Mm, mm,
when I went to visit in 2003, it was one room. There was a bed in
mm.
there. There was a stove. There was a TV, you know,
Bed,
that
stove,
type of thing.
TV. Mm.
Yeah. So it's like
So you can
bathe
sleep.
outside,
Mm.
use an outhouse to use a
Mm.
bathroom. That was it.
Yeah.
So when I went down in 2006, I stayed from 2006 December sometime into 2007 January sometime.
Okay.
Um, by that time, he had already added on to the house.
Okay.
So there was like basically room for two bedrooms and an indoor toilet,
Okay.
right?
You had indoor toilet. That's
Indoor
actually an
toilet.
upgrade. That's an
Yeah.
upgrade.
And what they do there is that they catch
Mm.
water in a tank on top of the
Yes.
house so that, when you're flushing, that's basically what's coming in,
Right.
stuff like that. But I've thought about putting some money towards it. I mean, because if I ever
Mm.
were to visit or anything like that,
Mm.
it would be nice to be like, oh yeah, I helped a little bit. You got people like, I don't know if you've ever sent anything to Dominica. I mean, you probably don't have to send anything to Dominica. Your family's so powerful over there. But you send barrels.
We're in talks. We're definitely in talks, and sometimes there's a need down there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like somebody gets real sick. All right, pull the resources together. All right, everybody wiring money from everywhere to make sure everything's okay.
Yeah.
There are meetings that we go to help to support. You know, my family's huge. All right, 16 on dad's side, and of the 16 that were born, you know, the previous generation, we call them G2s. Of the G2s, we got maybe 4 down there, 4 or 5.
Okay.
And you know, they're on the ground and they have their perspective on what things are like, and we're out here trying to, you know, just both manage and support. But we don't necessarily see eye to eye, you know. So we have to have meetings to try to sort things out and make sure it works. But yeah, I mean, like for me, and I'm glad you answered the question in that way. Rather than saying, okay, Africa is my true ancestral home, I'm gonna go all the way back there and try to do something.
I ain't got no ties to it like that.
Yeah, you got somewhere that's a lot closer where you have living family, you know, that does need the support, and they're not in a first world country. They don't have access to the resources that we have. So yeah, from where you are, what can you do? Maybe sending a barrel, sending, you know, whatever to that, you know, whatever the need is, but addressing the need and seeing what it is. Like that's extremely important. That's more woke than any of this wokeness. All right, wake up. You got family somewhere else that, you know, they you don't want them to be taken advantage of by Chinese or Indians or colonialists, you know, from Europe. Nah, we got family there, and what can be done, you know, from where we are. So that when you go down there and you see that plot of land or that house or that beach or that tree, whatever it is, you can say, you know what, like you said, I contributed to that. You know, I'm not just there to say, oh, okay, I'm here on vacation from the mainland, and then go back home to your cozy, you know, to your cozy studio. Like, nah, you know, what can we do from where we are so that, you know, the family that's there can build on what they have, and then, you know, when it comes, you know, time for the family reunion or time to just, you know, break bread together, we feel like we've been through something together.
Yeah,
it's a lot to that. It's a lot to that, and I see you for that. I see you.
Yeah. Oh, it is. Like, we can't. I feel it's so easy to get in the mode where, oh yeah, you know, I wanna go for mine, you know, but I saw on this TikTok, this young lady, she found out, like, I mean, apparently she was on her grind, because this is crazy. I would never thought to do this. She found out how much a new dryer costs, and she Venmoed it to her mother. Like, here's the money for the dryer type thing. You know, and she said that she always just wanted to be able to give that back. Like, she's been waiting for the day that she was able to give that back. You know, just to be like, oh, you have a need? Met. There it is. Boom. Done. Next. You know?
Yeah.
And it's pretty uncommon in American culture to hear that, because people will just kind of, they want to do for themselves, you know. Oh yeah, well, you know, I need to make sure I set up my generational wealth. I need to make sure that everything is good with me. But for immigrants, usually like second generation, it's like you're trying to give back to the first. You know, how can I help? You know, what can I do? The schooling that I've had here is not the schooling that they had. So what can I contribute to them? You know, my dad is always asking me, oh, what companies are you looking into that that I should invest in for stocks? I'm like, okay, well, I see this company coming up. If this company goes public, then these technologies are going to be the first things to go up. You need to try to get on the bottom floor of these, because you see the turns that are coming. And I don't make a lot of money, so I can't provide him with the money. But what I can provide are the skills that I've accrued through education, because my father has not graduated college. I know a little bit of micro and macroeconomics, a very tiny bit. And that little bit is, I guess, enough to help.
Well, I mean, that's the investment. He invested in you so that you could get a little bit further. And then once you get further, I mean, you get so that you can give. You get so you can give. All right. So, yeah, I mean, if you can see a little further, see a little higher because you're standing on the shoulders, then, hey, pass that down. Makes sense. Makes perfect sense. You know, yeah, I think that there is a kind of sickness in the States where we're just so concerned about self. And we don't really think about, you know, our elderly. And, you know, maybe it's different in other parts of the world. I know here in Japan, like traditionally that was, you know, I mean, the eldest is right there with the parents. Like, you know, his wife is going to move in and, you know, you'll be living with grandpa and grandma, you know. And yeah, I mean, traditionally they took care of their elderly more so than we do in the States. That could be you know, the direction that society is going to replace the family as the main support structure, which Noah Harari is going to talk about later.
Gosh. Foreshadowing.
Yeah. A little bit of foreshadowing. I have to, because, you know, it's like, for example, in the States, if you need money to go to college, you know, the state or society will provide you something. The FAFSA, you fill out your FAFSA form and you'll get a mix of, you know, some kind of funding or grants, you know.
Grants, loans.
Yeah, that's what they're putting out there, because that's society supporting the individual rather than just the family supporting it. In Japan, it's predominantly the family. You can't, I mean, you really can't look to the government to give you like a proper scholarship, or look to your community to give you a proper scholarship. Like your parents, if your parents worked hard, then, you know, they'll have money to give you to go to college. And only for the most part, you know, it's just that first degree. If you want to go on higher than that, then the company is going to pay for that. All right. And your company is your new parents. You're going to stay at that same company for 30, 40 years and retire. That's the traditional mindset. And it's still 50, 60, 70%. We'll say 60% of young people are going through that same system right now. It has not been supplanted by something better, because in the States, we don't really have anything better. We have a society that is, we'll support you, but then you're going to be in debt until you can't breathe. All right. And then we'll have our knee on your neck. Like, that's just, yeah, it's a real interesting place to be right now, just like kind of in between those kind of systems and seeing how society supports different individuals on different continents across time
and space.
There you go. Yeah.
Well, so we can wrap it up a little bit. It's crazy just to digest this book, because there are so many things that I don't agree with, but yeah, there's like so many things I don't like.
You didn't tell us what you don't like in chapter 4, by the way.
Because there's not a lot that that is like really dislike, but for someone like me who believes totally in the Bible, it's making my, I don't want to say it's making my faith stronger, but it's making my argument stronger for a biblical history. Because that's how I see the Bible. I don't just see it as, you know, a spiritual book for guidance, you know, not just a spiritual book for guidance, but a history of how God moves with his people. And if it's a history, then it has to be grounded some way, shape, or form to times that have passed. And, you know, things like the flood and how different animals, I don't want to say mutated, but, have evolved due to their circumstances. Like, I don't see a bad thing about that. And the whole ecological disaster thing, it's like, I can definitely get on board with that. So this chapter was, nothing really stuck out to me like, oh yeah, this is horrible.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. That's good. It's there to stimulate and to become a catalyst for the conversation. If it leads to growth and helps you to double down in terms of your arguments, about what you believe, then yeah, that seems helpful to me. I hope for the audience that this was the right choice and that it helps them to think about what they believe and what you believe. Okay, audience, I hope it helps you think about what you believe, and if it helps you in your walk, then I'm happy with that. If it helps you walk further, walk deeper, then it was the right choice. At the end of the day, or at the beginning of the day, we start with in the beginning God, and at the end God too. When you look at all the kind of suffering that's going on in the world and the strife, this dichotomy between one side over here that you can really support, but you don't like particular things or things that they're doing over here, versus the other side where it's basically the same story. The whole political system, the racism, all these different things that affect our lives. When you think about all that, at the end of the day, it's for us. I don't see this book as necessarily just a history, but I see it as food for thought to help me in my walk. Right.
Okay.
And you said it's how God supports his people. Right. Supports. Yeah, I'm glad that you said that, and I'm paraphrasing, but supports in the present tense, not supported. It wasn't like this is just God. This is in the beginning it says God spoke and he made the whole universe, and then he talked to all these people in the book, and then he's just quiet all this time. Like since then, like no. This is to help you understand his voice when you're walking, as you're walking, right? And not just understand his voice, but to have a relationship with him, to get some guidance when things get tough and things get rough, because they will, and they are right now.
Yeah.
And if they aren't, don't sit on your laurels, because it will be soon. All right. This whole pandemic was just round 1 or round 5, round 6, Omicron. 5. It's going around. It's going around. Yeah. Omicron is the 6th wave, right? 5th or 6th?
6th. Let's see. You have Corona Classic.
The Corona Classic.
Gosh.
With a line.
Then you have. There was an Alpha variant? There was something before the Delta.
There was.
Right. So that's 3. Then there was Delta Plus.
I mean, Delta.
Then there was Omicron.
4, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Omicron is 5. But there's another variant beyond Omicron now.
You heard about that, right? It's going around
in
South Africa or something, right? So depending on where you're listening from, all right, this could be we could be talking about round 6 for you, or we're talking about round 5,
possibly 7. Mercy,
could be 7.
Just mutating this, changing this. Crazy.
I mean, folks that are sitting here, relatively relaxed listening to the podcast, you may not be at war. All right. But the war is coming to you in one way, shape, or form. All right. So get your mind right, get your heart right, and open up that book, or at least get yourself a pen, a pad, write it down. It's been your boy Tipsy Japan, telling you that's what it is.
This is Ace of Cross Culture. Until next time, please stay prayed up. Be blessed.